Hour. It's always a pleasure to be here with you on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. The Galen Hour is a production of Galen University. It focuses on academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning. Tonight's episode focuses on digital marketing. This whole season 4 has been a digital marketing focus. Our host has been Minor Leroux. So Minor is here with us again tonight. Welcome, Minor. And we have a special Eagle guest with us tonight. Miss Cindy Blanco is joining us for tonight. Miss Cindy is the marketing manager for services at the Bowen and Bowen Group of Company. And it's always a pleasure to have an Eagle on with us tonight. So a warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
Cindy.
Thank you very much, Diana, and Minor, for having me. Fun fact, actually, so when the Galen, in my days, it was called the Galen Show, and I was a part of that initial team that came out every Wednesday with Dr. Zab at the time to record the show. So I was a part of the initial start of the show. So
lovely.
It's nice to be on the other side of the camera.
Very nice. Yes. So you're no stranger to what's happening here tonight. And so that's even better for us. So Cindy, like we said, we do like to celebrate our soaring eagles, and you certainly are one of them. So we're happy to have you with us. Tonight's episode is the final episode for this season, and so it features our Galen Eagle, but also we'll talk about what Galen University is doing with respect to digital marketing. Yep, so let's get into it. Minor is one of our key digital marketing lecturer, and he's here in that capacity tonight. So Minor will certainly be a valuable resource for us tonight as well.
Thank you.
So if we could just get started with asking you, Cynthia, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. So I'm the marketing manager for the services provided by Bowen and Bowen Group of Companies, specifically Chanchich Lodge, the Neighbors Store, and the restaurant groups, which for those who are aware of the brands, it's the Tavern, the Brewery, Cork Street, and now Map Street. That's our latest addition to the group. And so what I do is I manage the marketing strategies for these companies, and under those strategies comes the marketing planning, which, as you know, digital marketing is such a huge portion of those planning, of that kind of planning now, right? Especially with the times, things have changed in the last 10 years. So that's a little bit of what I do.
Yes. Yeah. Just before the show started, Cindy was telling us about her time at Galen, and where digital marketing wasn't necessarily around when Cindy was attending Galen. So while she is a business major, she's not necessarily had a schooling at Galen for digital marketing. So it's always good to look at where we've come from, where we are, and look at the transition that has happened. So that's definitely something I'd want us to talk about. Unless, Minor, you have a question you'd like to
I agree. I think there's been and I think in previous shows we've talked about that shift and merger even of both offline marketing and online marketing. And just talking from my experience, I know I've worked at other organizations where even the beginning of digital marketing wasn't even called digital marketing. And with that, and by extension also, they were looking, just to give you an example, I was a digital marketing manager at the Middle East Tourism Board, but they weren't really looking for somebody with my skill sets or profile. They were looking for somebody with IT or a web server, which is only one skill set a digital marketer needs to have.
Yeah.
And even the unit wasn't called digital marketing, it was called direct online, go figure, right?
Oh, wow.
So even the name was a little bit more traditional.
Yeah.
So that has changed in several organizations. So tell us a little bit about that. How has that evolution happened at your workplace?
Yeah, so let me, I'll go back to what Diana mentioned previously. So in my time, 10 years ago at Galen, I was a marketing major under Mr. Field, marketing guru, right? So when I studied marketing, we only kind of touched digital in certain courses. There was no dedicated course for digital marketing, right? And at the time, we really just talked about social media, which 10 years ago was really just Facebook. right?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all these other platforms that we have now. And so there was no great focus on digital platforms and digital marketing. It's just, they were mentioned, right? And so it's evolved in 10 years. It's amazing how much it has evolved in 10 years. And so with technology evolving so fast, I think industries and companies also have to evolve. And so, you know, when I started my career at Bowen and Bowen 6 years ago, I started as a marketing coordinator, right? And the skills they needed was somebody who understood marketing needs, you understand, you know, target consumers, you're good at budget managing because, but management because that, you know, you manage your budgets and you understand traditional media, you know, but no, because things have changed, right? There are certain skill sets that you mentioned. We need people that are great at app developing or app management or data analysis, right? And a lot of these might stem from IT careers, you know, IT, you know, fields. And so yes, it has changed drastically, right? It's not just about knowing how to create ads or create, you know, it's way more than that. It's all about data. I think data is so important and content is so important, right? Everything is now content marketing really, but also using that data from your audience to then be more strategic and, you know, be profitable in the end, because at the end of the day, marketing has to be profitable, right? So that has changed, yeah, drastically, yeah. So I'm here with what I know, but I'm constantly learning new things. Like some of these things are very new to me, right? And then you keep reading about new apps and new platforms as well that might not have reached Belize, but it's so, you know, it's so important in other markets, right? And it's just a matter of time for them to infiltrate Belize as well. So it's important for us to stay on top of these things and stay, you know, up to date, because by the time it reaches Belize, then you know, you gotta be ahead of the game, right? So I'm constantly learning as well, and I think others in my field feel the same. Like we're learning more and more each day, and it's important to develop these other skills as well.
Definitely.
Right?
Perfect.
Yes, so earlier today we were talking with Minor and looking at our website at Galen University and looking at how we can better maximize that platform. I mean, and Minor can tell us that we're not necessarily at this point doing the most with it. So we do know that if in this digital world, you have to stay on top of things, you have to be optimizing the use of the platforms that are available. And it's just a continuous, as you said. This is a continuous task that we have to do. This is a whole different ball game. It's not like you put up a bulletin board and everybody who drive past the road will see it. That bulletin board has to be changed almost every other day or every day if you want to remain
And it has to remain relevant as well to your audience, right? Because otherwise, then why are we communicating what we're communicating if it's not relevant to who we're trying to reach, right?
Absolutely.
And I think it also has to do with the generation shift, right? I mean, if you ask teenagers or folks going at sixth form right now in this day and age, when was the last time they held a newspaper and actually read it?
Right.
That's, I'm probably going to see 99.9% of them will tell you, I've not seen a newspaper in the past 5 years, right? So even newspapers in Belize have actually had to do that shift, and they almost became a news outlet. It's very similar to Channel 5 or Channel 7.
Right.
And that's how they transformed, and they were able to stay alive because they really had a very steep decline.
Right.
In their advertisers, in their readership. And so they had to digitally transform themselves.
Right, yeah.
And that's one of the major, back in the day, was one of the biggest advertisers we had, apart from TV. So it was radio, TV, and newspaper, right?
Yeah.
And now it's become so fragmented where your budgets have to be, social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
You gotta start investing in those social media ads, right? And boosting, sponsoring ads and getting influencers.
Content.
And getting influencers now, right? I mean, you didn't have to think about influencers, but I mean, we had political influencers, but what we're looking for is, more social media and content influencers. So that's new as well. But I would even argue that, television is becoming more irrelevant as well, because for example, in Belize, Channel 5, Channel 7, you can now watch the news from your mobile phone through Facebook, right? So you're not exactly tuning in on your TV.
And now you're not only competing with the local news, but you're also competing on digital networks, right? Like Hulu and, you have ABC.
We have Netflix. I think almost everyone has Netflix,
You have Disney, you have Amazon Prime. And even with all those, I can tell you, I've been without cable for coming close to 6 years. Right? Ever since BTL launched their fiber optic cable, I got that and I said I don't need anything else. Right? And the internet, there's been very specific times in those 6 years that I've said I wish I had cable. One of them is whenever there's sports, right?
World Cup.
World Cup coming up. Yes, so I'm thinking of putting cable for tomorrow.
But you know, I think Lisa might not have done the cable company much of a favor. Those of us who are holding on to cable, like myself, for some reason, and every month that I have to pay, I'm like, why am I doing this? And now that's the one utility, that's a utility, right? That's not up yet. And I'm here thinking, do I really need this? I could wait until the news finishes at 6, 7 o'clock, then watch it on my phone or watch it instantaneously
you watch
while
it
it's
live,
on.
yes.
You know, so so it's not necessarily. So I think the cable people have their task cut out, especially now that they're telling you have to add more devices to make it accessible. So, but literally, and so with every challenge, and in this case a disaster, comes opportunities and changes to the jobs that we do, and employers have to start looking for different ways to ensure that they can meet these new challenges. But just before we finish our first segment, I wanted to say, we talk about marketing, we talk about digital marketing, and whether or not the programs we took prepared us. But you know, with this digital world, even more so, we need to be good communicators. We need to know English grammar. Yes, I know our computers, character grammar, and all of that, but sometimes just our writing styles. And so all those foundation courses still become absolutely important. And a person like you, Cindy, who came through Galen, where we know the education is excellent, the foundation you got prepared you for where you are today. Even though you didn't have digital marketing, you were able to scale up rather quickly. Yeah,
for sure. And as you're saying that, the only person that comes to mind is Dr. Lascott, because I took her business communication classes and her language classes. So she was very strict on writing material and grammar and content material. And so as you're saying that, I think about her because I do a lot of the content creation for Chanchich. And so, you know, I really have to kind of set myself in a space where I can think creatively, but also, again, going back to what I said, what is relevant to, you know, why should people care about what I have to say about my brands or my properties, right? And so, again, using everything that I've learned, you know, at Galen in my younger years, I mean, it's putting it into practice now and making sure that what I'm saying is valuable and people want to hear it, right? Because then if people don't want to hear you, then what are we doing, right? You know? So it's all about content and being relevant and speaking to the right audience as well.
Definitely.
Perfect. If I could add just to that, I think having a right foundation would also make an easy transition to digital marketing because everything you do in digital marketing, or I would say 99.9% of the digital marketing things you do have an offline component to it. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So as long as you know your target and you know your audience, you can pretty much do the same offline and online.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so I completely agree.
All right, so yes, we've come to the end of our first segment for tonight's show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Galen Hour.
Become a member of the Galen Eagle Alumni Association. Reconnect with your fellow classmates. Rediscover the Galen Eagle spirit and reawaken your inner eagle. Come home, come celebrate. 20 years of excellence with Galen University. For more information, contact 636-8881.
Galen University offers a variety of quality academic programs. Visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz or give us a call at 615-3129 or 614-6415 for more information. Apply today and come soar with our Galen Eagles.
It's never too late to accomplish your dreams. Apply today. Come soar with the Galen Eagles. To learn more about our various programs, contact us at 824-3226 615-3129 or 614-6415. Visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz or email us at admissions@galen.edu.bz. Galen University, promoting academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning.
Welcome back to the Galen Hour. Thank you for staying tuned with us tonight. We're talking digital marketing. We have our special Eagle guest tonight, Cindy Blanco. So Cindy has been talking digital marketing with us and what her experience is at the Bowen Group of Companies where she works as a marketing manager. And of course, we know minors. So if we can pick up kind of where we left off, it's kind of where we left off, but we really want to look at the employer's perspective now. So digital marketing is absolutely important, but Cindy, we'd like for you to share with us what employers are looking for in new employees.
Well, you know, when recruiting marketing experts, right? And maybe experts isn't the right word because we also welcome what I've seen. We welcome the newbies as well. If you're green, that's a good sign. Then that way we could teach you what we already know, and you bring to the table what you've learned in your studies, etc. But what we're looking for in marketing nowadays, like I mentioned earlier, people who know web development, app management, app development, right? Those things weren't taught in my days because we didn't have apps back then, right? Or at least not mobile apps as many as we have now. And Belize, you see a lot of local companies coming up with their own apps, which is great to see because like markets like the US, I mean, there's like 1 million apps out there that help facilitate certain services and products to the consumer. So I'm glad to see that Belize is, we're going in the right direction. But we also we lack that we lack people with those skill sets to develop these applications and to service them and design them, right? And so we tend to look for people who have those skill sets, but also understand the marketing component, right? Why an app should be the way it is, because at the end of the day, it's a digital marketing platform, right? It's speaking to a certain consumer. So we do, even as we speak, we're actually trying to recruit people that are knowledgeable with app management and app development. So if anyone's out there and want to reach out, I mean, that's what we're looking for. That's what we need, right? And we need people with good work ethic as well. And I know we talked about this off camera a little bit. We're looking for people who are willing to do the work and are willing to learn as well, because, I could speak from my own experience. Bowen is a group of companies that keeps expanding and keeps on growing. So we need people who are flexible and adaptable. They're easy to adapt to changes and willing to take on new challenges, because I face a lot of challenges with the changing of time and technology. Like I said, when I started out, it was really traditional media. Like I used to manage radio and TV and newspaper. I did newspaper ads for my brands when I started out at Bowen & Bowen, right? Not so much now, right? If they see me spending so much on newspaper now, I probably wouldn't have my job still, right? But yeah, so I mean, the point is things have changed, and so we need people who are, again, they understand that certain times bring certain changes, and we want people who are willing to work and excited to work and are passionate about marketing as well, because, I mean, it takes a certain kind of passion to be in marketing, right? It's understanding people's needs, really. We're understanding consumers' needs, It's how to communicate properly. We talked about grammar and language and communication. That's all a part of marketing as well. So it's not just about knowing the work, but also how do we execute that in a very successful way to the right audience, right? But yeah, so.
Perfect. And if I could chime in too, I know one of the biggest challenges with digital marketing, at least in the early days, and I can recall, maybe 10 years ago, when I was in a digital marketing position and I had to develop my team, the digital marketing landscape was non-existent. So I couldn't ask for anyone to have app skill sets or front desk development skill sets. So at that point in time, the only thing I would ask for is that they have the right attitude. Because if they have the right attitude, I could teach them the rest.
Right.
And you know, that mantra took me well off, you know, at that organization and even my own personal team, because if they're willing to learn, and they have the right attitude, everything else I can teach them.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, back in my day, social media, when you look at job descriptions, they would have like maybe social media skills. But back then, social media skills meant you know how to post something on Facebook, right? I know how to post, but that has changed now. It's not just about what you're putting out, but how do you capture that data, right, and turn that into strategies? And that's something big that we're working on right now.
And I think that's one of the challenges I've seen, if I can interrupt,
yeah, sure,
with employers, where I've seen ads where they're actually looking for a digital marketing manager or a digital marketing strategist, but the title of the job is like junior digital marketing officer. And then when you look at the responsibilities, like, this is not a good match.
Yeah.
So you might end up with somebody junior taking the job,
right,
and then they'll leave you at the chance they could.
right. Yeah, and there are different softwares and applications that are used to collect that data. Like Sprout is a big one. I know we use Google Analytics. I don't know if you use Google, but I love Google Analytics for that same reason, because you could, and I use that for Chanteach a lot as well, so to measure the traffic, and you could actually see who's looking at your website, right? So we need people who know how to use these platforms and these softwares, but also how do you make use of it, and how do you translate that into a language that your CEO can understand, or your financial team could understand, because you could understand it, but we're a big company, right? And you work with different departments. So how do we use that data and turn that into profits, right? Like, so it's we need people who know how to manage the data and translate that into something that's,
and I'm glad you mentioned that, because there are teams that sit on data but don't have somebody to analyze it. So data's there.
Yeah.
Nobody analyzes it.
So what's the use, right?
So they cannot present it to higher management to say, hey, this is where we're lacking. This is where our call to actions are leaking. And you know, and that's where you see the different roles with like a junior digital marketer or a senior strategist who can see the digital marketing in a 360 perspective and be able to connect the dots and the team together. Because in digital marketing, you know, you have to have the designer type of mind with the creative side, but you also have to have the analytical.
Yes.
And that is a very difficult match. Few people have that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. I like that. You know, we encourage all of our entrepreneurs, new and old alike, and businesses to get more familiar. But when you think about it, and from what the conversation we've been having here, this thing is a little bit more technical, a whole lot more technical than some of us are ready for. And so there is room for people who are digital strategists, digital marketers, really and truly, who truly understand not just the front end and what we quickly do, but what you do with the data. You know, it's so important. And so that is also, I guess, an area for us to look at in terms of education.
Indeed.
But I also wanted to bring up quickly the real-time necessity of the whole digital world. It's I am of the opinion, please correct me if I'm wrong, that if something is happening this morning, it needs to be on Facebook, social media now. If you wait until tonight or tomorrow, it's
no longer relevant.
You know, and so sometimes getting that understanding out is that if you can't wait too long.
Right.
You can't wait too long. So because it is now, it's happening now. Everybody is, even the generation wants everything quickly, but I think just the digital world lends itself to that immediate reporting,
which is important to, you know, what you mentioned in the first segment about having that information ready, right, and just constantly being updating the content and making sure it's relevant, because it just, with technology, there's new news every 5 minutes, right, and so it's just, how do you keep relevant? How do you keep
fast news, right? No, definitely. I think being agile with your digital marketing and even halting out the projects to put something forefront, right? It's important, because then if you miss that, the timing has to be right to get the largest reach, the largest impression, you know, the largest call to action.
And so maybe I could ask both of you this, and this would benefit both employees and employers. From an employee perspective, what should your marketing team, who should your marketing team be comprised of? What positions should have, if we want to truly be on the top of things with managing website, managing social media, making sure press releases are going out on time, all of what, and you do this every day.
Right.
So all of it takes to ensure that your company is being seen, heard in a timely, relevant fashion.
So I'll go first. So no one's perfect, and like I said, times change fast, and we're trying to keep up with the changes and the time. And so currently right now, my marketing department has a marketing intelligence person, right? So he is the one that collecting the data. He's the one talking to suppliers internationally and locally. And then he makes the recommendations to the other marketing managers or general managers of the different business units about new products or new services that are out there that can be beneficial to us. Then we have the marketing managers who manage brands. So Bowen & Bowen is a company that manages many brands, right? Some of you may know all or some, or you would be surprised as to what brands actually belong to the Bowen & Bowen group. So we are very good at managing brands, and so understanding brands and how they fit into a market as small as Belize. It's very challenging, right? We have the beverages, and we have the auto parts, and then we have the vehicles. So it's a lot. But my point is, we have an in-house creative agency, Sakizme. So they are of big support to what we need in terms of digital content, in terms of radio, in terms of videos, video production. So they're the ones who produce Belikin Bash. I know everybody watches Belikin Bash or attends. And so that video production is managed by our in-house creative agency, right? So we don't have to outsource those services, right? Which is a big help for us, right? That agency also creates social media, reports. They're, overlooking social media. What we don't have is someone dedicated just to social media or digital. So we don't have someone that only does digital, right? And so I think companies need marketing managers, but we need someone who's looking at all these digital, we're talking about digital marketing, someone who's looking just at websites, just at the apps, just at, because it's a part of marketing, but it's so much, it's so much more than just like, I'll post, I'm gonna post something this morning and that's it. So I think to have in an ideal world, right, we would have an app manager as well. We would have someone, and then under that app manager, maybe a data analyst or someone who has an IT background to develop the design of the app, but also someone who knows web development. I mean, we need all these things, right? So if you have, if we had the perfect, perfect marketing team, I think we'd have like 25 people in that team. Wow. But we would be running the show because this is what it takes, right? This is what it takes to have a successful, launch of brands or products or campaigns. So we're working on getting there.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Well, for those that aren't as fortunate to have 30 marketers on their team, perhaps I can share a little bit of my experience, right? When I used to work at the Belize Tourism Board, started March 11, 2010. I'll never forget that, because we were migrating from an agency to another agency, and during that year, I managed 7 international agencies, right? Agency of record in the US, in Canada, South America, UK, Europe, and then we had one in Mexico, and then I was managing all airline partners, along with their creative development and 2 web pages, right?
Wow.
So I was a one-man band. Wow. If you ask me that year, there were people that got fired, I can't remember, because I lived at my desk. I got to work at 6 in the morning and left at 6, 7 at night. I literally had no chance to talk to anyone, because I had no team, right? So it came from the strategic plan that they were going to have a digital marketing unit called Direct Online Marketing. And so I had to lobby for an entire year for budget for additional team members. And so at that time there was no budget, so I had to start with interns and then secure their employment the year after, in year 2, call it year 2, and that's why I grew my team. And so we've always had a very small team. When I was at the BTB, it was myself. I'm a developer, designer, creative. I'm also a Google consultant. So they kind of got the full package with me, right? But I was able to develop, a content writer. So I hired somebody who dealt only with content and understood all the Belize brand and the BTB brand. So there was any trip, I had to send them out. But you also have to be a photographer. So you were a content writer / photographer, because I don't have a separate budget to send. So I'm also a photographer too, right?
Yeah.
So during that first year, I was at every pan when knock. Literally. There was lobster fest. I was up to here with lobster fest. I was in every lobster fest every weekend, right? I was newly married. My wife was abroad, so no problem. She was finishing up her master's degree. If not, I would have been divorced a long time. So I had a team for content. She would develop content. I would train her in SEO and content writing, and I would review her work. And then I developed junior digital marketing who will help me upload web content. And I kind of went the route of against management, because in their eyes they were like, "Miner, you gotta train everyone on everything." I said, "You cannot do that.
Yeah.
Not everybody is good at everything. You know, I'm good at everything, but you know, I'm an ad folks, right?" And so I have a content writer. She's really good at content writing. So give her space. She takes time writing, but what she does is gold, right? And then I had a digital marketing staff who helped me with uploading, not so much writing, but designing, right? So I would design some, he would design some, and then we had an intern helping with photography. So in all of us took photos. All of us were photographers. I trained them in photography. None of them went to school for that. We did get some certifications on that. I trained them all on front end as well, because I need it all to be. So if you go to an event, make sure 30 minutes after the event starts, I want to see photos going up.
Absolutely.
Right? And so I was kind of demanding, to say the least, but it built a really strong team. And I think we were able to do a lot more. And year after year, our budget was approved for more equipment. And then we started doing videos.
Right.
And then we got drones, and then we got 360 photos, and now we're doing, they're now doing so much for Belize. But I think it was that mantra of, okay, you gotta, one, have the right attitude. And yes, in a perfect world, we'll have 30 people doing it. But if you don't have the budget for it, like most of us mortals, right? You kind of, you know, be multifaceted with your skill sets, right? So, but you also have to be realistic, right? I'm what they call ambidextrous, so I can really be very creative, right? Like when we had the Steve Harvey quick win back in 2014, when he did the mistake of giving the prize to somebody else. I was actually on vacation traveling when I saw it, and I was driving, and I remember he was looking at it, and it just clicked in my head. I called the agency. I said, "Hey, have you guys looked at this? We need to reach out to him and give him a prize to come and host Costa Maya." They reached out, but it was a matter of like a minute, right? So you need to have somebody very creative like that. And so you hire a creative, right, who would have that eye. But you also have to have, like what you guys are calling a business analyst or a data analyst, who back in the day was called a intelligence marketing manager, right? Or a data analyst who can see trends, right? And forecast those trends, because him with the creative, they'll fuse and come up with really good ideas.
Right. Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, this is fantastic. But I mean, a few good things. I mean, the conversation is really good. The discussion is good, but the right attitude. And from what Miner is saying, you can't just decide that this is not my job. Or that's not my job. I'm only going to do this. You have to be willing to cross into assisting to ensure, to do whatever you need to do to make sure that the job is done. And I believe in all of what you've both said, that the marketing job is not a 9 to 5. Absolutely not. You know, and getting your team to understand that is absolutely important. That Miner is driving on vacation, something clicks, he makes the call. So while he's on vacation, he's still on the job, kind of thing. So you're never really divorced from that job. You know, so and this is important for both employees and employers to know. We're out of time for this second segment. We'll be back after this short break with the Galen Hour. Thank you for staying tuned, and see you in a few minutes.
Become a member of the Galen Eagle Alumni Association. Reconnect with your fellow classmates. Rediscover the Galen Eagle spirit and reawaken your inner eagle. Come home, come celebrate. 20 years of excellence with Galen University. For more information, contact 636-8881.
Galen University offers a variety of quality academic programs. Visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz or give us a call at 615-3129 or 614-6415 for more information. Apply today and come soar with our Galen Eagles.
It's never too late to accomplish your dreams. Apply today. Come soar with the Galen Eagles. To learn more about our various programs, contact us at 824-3226, 615-3129, or 614-6415. Visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz or email us at admissions@galen.edu.bz. Galen University, promoting academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning.
A really fantastic discussion, very educational and informative, but we're winding down to the end of it, and so I'd like to ask Cindy to give us her last words.
All right, well, thank you guys again for having me. As a Galen Eagle, I'm so proud to be on the Galen Hour to share my experiences and what I've learned. It means a lot to me, right? Because Galen really did form that foundation for me in terms of marketing skill set. And I actually, you mentioned photography. I took a photography class with Mr. Hill back in my day as well, because I think as a when you're passionate about marketing, I think most people are creatives, right? And so for me, I was really into photography and understanding consumer behaviors and, communication. And so I think it was just meant for me to be in marketing. But I love learning new things, and I really want to encourage young people, to follow their passions. I mean, this was my passion, and I keep learning, and I love learning. And I think with marketing, things change every year with technology and trends. And so I think it's a career that really ignites, the best part of you and keeps you on your feet, because you have to keep learning, right? I'm still learning new things. I don't know it all. I wish I did. But I still keep learning, and I encourage everybody to look out and definitely look at, courses at Galen. I think those are very important, and I love the hands-on experience that you also get at Galen, and I think that was very important for me as well, and I think it could be very valuable to many students out there. And also, Bowen and Bowen is a company that keeps growing, and we look for young talent all the time. So please, look out for our page and look out for new positions that come out almost every month. We do like young talent, and we're here to help develop you further, to help build beliefs as well. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Cindy. We're always proud and willing to showcase our soaring eagles. And so it's been an absolute pleasure to have you all with us tonight. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Become a member of the Galen Eagle Alumni Association. Reconnect with your fellow classmates. Rediscover the Galen Eagle spirit and reawaken your inner eagle. Come home, come celebrate. 20 years of excellence with Galen University. For more information, contact 636-8881.
Galen University offers a variety of quality academic programs. Visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz or give us a call at 615-3129 or 614-6415 for more information. Apply today and come soar with our Galen Eagles.
It's never too late to accomplish your dreams. Apply today. Come soar with the Galen Eagles. To learn more about our various programs, contact us at 824-3226, 615-3129, or 614-6415. Visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz or email us at admissions@galen.edu.bz. Galen University, promoting academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning.
Welcome back to the Galen Hour. We have swapped out our guests for tonight. So we're talking digital marketing, and we had Cindy Blanco on with us talking from an employer's perspective and from her work as a digital a marketing manager at the Bowen group of companies. So we now have with us tonight Dr. Sylvia Cattouse, who's the Dean of Faculty of Business and Entrepreneurship at Galen University. And our focus, if you've been tuned in for tonight, is really what Galen is doing, how our Galen Eagles, how well they do when they leave our nest. And Minor LaRue, as you may know, is a marketing lecturer at Galen University. So, and yes, he's doubling as our guest host, but right now he's going to play the role of lecturer because he's one of our lecturers. So Dr. Cattouse, welcome to the Galen Hour.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Good evening.
Deanna. Good evening, Minor.
Yes.
It's really always exciting to be here and also to talk about our programs at Galen University.
Yes, I mean, so we like to talk about all the good that we do. Galen University does promote academic excellence. We try to keep in tune, and we do a good job of it, of what our nation needs. We know we're in a digital world, and so there's absolutely no running from it. And so Dr. Cattouse will share with us tonight some of the wonderful things that are happening at Galen University and how directions we're going to move in to ensure that we're equipping our graduates with what they need for a digital marketing world. Dr. Cattouse, do you want to talk a little bit about what Galen is currently doing in the marketing arena?
Firstly, though, I want to talk a little bit about our computer science program. We have a very excellent computer science program, and I need to say distinct from an IT program. Most people are aware of IT programs, and most students, especially when we go out recruiting, talk about an IT program. And we try to get across the fact that we teach computer science. In our programs, we teach you not only how to use the software, but also how to make that hardware work for you, how to do apps, how to do web design. And especially important, you go to a job and your company wants to improve an operation. We need you to know how you can use your computer science background to assist that company in improving its operations. And that's just a small example of some of the things that you can get from taking a computer science degree program. But additionally, all our students, regardless of what program you're in at Galen University, you must take at least 2 computer science programs. It's simply imperative that you do. We have noticed, especially in the last 2 years, a technification of all businesses and organizations. And we feel, regardless of the program that you come out of at Galen, you must have that those digital skills.
Definitely, Dr. Cattouse. And so I'm glad you mentioned that, because we do both. And if you would hear from our Dean of the Faculty of Art, Science, and
Technology.
At Galen University, Dean Sherry Gibbs, she'll tell you as fast as we graduate or computer science majors, they're hired. So that's definitely an area for you to consider. And we're talking digital marketing, so you've got to know how to work the computer and technology. So it fits right in the discussion that we want to have. Minor?
No, thank you. Thank you for mentioning that, Dr. Cattouse. And I think specifically in the digital marketing segment or program, I think a couple of key courses that I lecture, one of them, which I'm glad I was able to trailblaze, was the marketing business simulator, right? I think at the time when I started lecturing at Galen University, I think that was a game changer because it actually gives you a hands-on experience on how to run your marketing plan and how quickly little tweaks or how to optimize it. Basically, I'll give you guys in a minute or so, I'll give you a synopsis of what that course specifically entails. It's actually towards the end of the program, so there are several prerequisites you might have already taken. But basically, it's putting all the marketing concepts, digital marketing concepts in play, where you get a comp set, you have a product that you're competing with, and you can invest in digital marketing, in digital ads, in technology for the product, and you, along with your peers, are actually competing sort of like in a simulator,
a real life situation,
where you can see where and you have data that you can analyze, which is what I love the most, right? And at the end of the game, I will give the students an assessment and have one-on-ones on their team so that they can understand why the simulation ranked them higher or lower. And it's not only based on trends, but it's also based on a real competitive set. So your competitors are your colleagues in your class who are also making different decisions. So it's a very lifelike scenario. And it's one of the most, one of the lectures I enjoy the most, I have to say, because that's where you start seeing who's really have a creative mind or have a foresight.
Have the aptitude.
Have the aptitude, correct. And it kind of wraps around all the concepts they've learned at Galen. And for me, when I started lecturing that class, and when you guys approached me initially, this is actually a marketing simulator that universities in Europe are currently using. So it is benchmark, it is cutting edge, and we have it at Galen.
And speaking of marketing analysis, one of the things that we introduced as well is our data analytics class. Data science is extremely important over the last 10 years, but particularly so in the last 5 years. And we have made sure that all our business administration programs have a data science class, and in addition to some of our other programs. And the goal is really that all of the courses, especially within the business administration program, will have a data science class. Once upon a time we used to collect data, and in marketing they used to say, well, data have to be accurate and timely. Well, we go beyond that because people might have gotten that accurate and timely data, but what did they do with it? What data science helps us to do with it is being able to turn that into information that can be used for decision making, to be able to spot trends, to be able to pinpoint target markets, and really generally see how your business operation is doing, your organization, how to maybe tweak your strategy in such a way for more efficiency and effectiveness.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm a data cruncher myself, and I could tell you, if you don't have a data analyst who can interpret the data, and coming out of this course at Galen, I think is one of the few, if I'm not mistaken, in country where you can actually take this course, but it helps you develop that analytical side. Everybody can look at data, but it is really to foster and being able to analyze the data and forecast. Forecast will put you ahead of your competitors. So if you're looking for to prepare yourself, I think Galen has a good option.
A fun fact about that data science class, the marketing students were rebelling against taking so many math classes, and they didn't want to take calculus, and so a whole bunch of them approached me. It was like, group, attack.
Peer pressure.
And why do we have to take a third math class? Can't you just drop this? I said, okay, we can drop that math class, but you still have to take something else that is quantitative. At the time, we did not have data science on our program, and that's when we introduced data science. We probably should have before, but that was the appropriate time, and they could not rebel against. And in fact, since then, we have had students who have gone on to study data science.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic. And I think from a digital marketeer point of view, data goes hand in hand, because it's not about, having fancy ads and beautiful jingles, and it's all about conversions. And
Exactly.
what is the return on the investment that you're making?
Exactly.
If I could just jump in here, and for sure under our Faculty of Business and Entrepreneurship, we're offering marketing and digital marketing and all of those related courses that are so important for our employees and for employers. But we're looking at the world where no matter if you're taking business, no matter if you're a doctor, a lawyer, no matter what career you're taking, you need to know how to do digital marketing. You need to be aware of what the world has now moved into, which is the digital world. So how do we ensure from maybe a curriculum and academia perspective, Dr. Cattouse and Minor as a lecturer, that we are equipping students across the board with the skills that they need to survive in this digital world?
One of the things that we do, and I'll let Minor go after this, is we're continuously scanning the environment to see what kinds of jobs are out there, to see what kind of new processes business are taking on. And so as we do that, we think of ways that we can change our courses. In fact, we're going through a really major review right now of all our programs, and starting with our marketing program. And we also, of course, the people in our marketing program are from industries across Belize and also internationally. We do lean a lot on our experts here as well as Belizeans in the diaspora. And so, and we create partnerships with organizations. We make sure that we attend, and Mina knows I've been to many conferences and workshops that we keep seeing the same people at some of these things. We figure we're a bit of a cult sometimes, and we just try to stay up to date as much as possible. We try to expose our students to things that are happening, and that's one of the ways we do it. One of the things too that we are committed to through our Galen Center for Leadership and Professional Development is to put in place programs for reskilling and upskilling. And there's lots of opportunities within this whole area to provide short courses, workshops, certification. As Cindy mentioned earlier, she's continuously reading and gotten certification. And so we're able to do that as well through our Center for Professional Development and Leadership.
And I'll take that last point you made, and I think from a digital marketing perspective, I think every digital marketer goes through that search for higher learning. And I can tell you, even though there are few outlets out there, having those certificate programs like what Galen will start do very soon, or special digital marketing workshops, will allow the local Belizean to scale up.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's a great opportunity, whether you're in the field or you're currently enrolled in Galen, it will give that greater opportunity for all Belizeans to be able to tap into those resources that are then needed from these employers in this day and age.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is fantastic, because no matter who you are now, this is relevant to you. So no matter if you are an employee, an employer, an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur, an older entrepreneur, whoever you are, what we're doing and talking about here today is absolutely important to you. If not, you might have children who are learning it. So we're hoping that from tonight's discussion, you've gleaned information that will help you, or at least lead you in the direction that you need to go, which is upscaling with respect to digital marketing and the whole digital world that we're operating in now. We're almost out of time, so I want to give our guest and our host the last words. So, Dr. Cattouse, would you like to give us some last words?
Just that it's always, there are times that people are looking for certain programs and they may think that they want the program a certain way. We're always willing to come in and talk with employers. In fact, we reach out to employers quite often to see how our graduates, our products, our graduates are our products, and to see how our graduates are doing, if there is something that maybe we should put into our programs, what kind of weaknesses they're seeing in terms of the skills that our graduates are bringing to them. So we really want employers to reach out to us. And of course, our graduates, we always welcome them, our soaring eagles.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Cattouse, and thank you for joining us tonight on the Galen Hour.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Yes, certainly. Minor, you get the last word, but tonight is also our final episode for this season. So,
I'd like to start off by thanking you guys for having me as a co-host. It has certainly brought out the passion I personally have with digital marketing and given me the outlet to share that with everyone. I've always never been selfish with what I've learned, and if there's better ways to do things, I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, hey, don't do it that way. I've gone down that road. You're gonna have to come back and do it better. So I really enjoy co-hosting the show. I think it's really highlighted different areas of digital marketing, right? From the different guest speakers we've had. And I think I hope the audience have also learned a great deal in this episode Galen puts together. Thank you.
Thank you to Minor. It's been a pleasure hosting this season with you. Digital marketing is so relevant. The information we've shared, the discussions we've had have been fantastic. We're so happy to have Cindy Blanco on with us tonight. We are so happy always to highlight our Galen Eagles. They are, like I said, the proof is in the eagle. And tonight you saw one of our soaring eagles. Dr. Cattouse is also an eagle. She's a dean of the faculty. And Minor teaches for us. So this has been an absolutely engaging, and I think rewarding to a great degree, season 4. And I thank you for joining us for season 4 of the Galen Hour. The Galen Hour is a production of Galen University. It focuses on academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning. We'll be back with season 5 in a couple months. Please stay tuned. We do have an Eagle podcast that's starting soon, so look out for our Eagle podcast, and that's focusing on entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurship landscape in Belize. So we're always here trying to be relevant, ensuring that we're informing and educating our people. It's been an absolute pleasure to host the Galen Hour. I'm Diana Gomez-Perry-Feet, and I'd like to say good night and thank you for tuning in.
Become a member of the Galen Eagle Alumni Association. Reconnect with your fellow classmates. Rediscover the Galen Eagle spirit and reawaken your inner eagle. Come home, come celebrate. 20 years of excellence with Galen University. For more information, contact 636-8881.
Galen University offers a variety of quality academic programs. Visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz or give us a call at 615-3129 or 614-6415 for more information. Apply today and come soar with our Galen Eagles.
It's never too late to accomplish your dreams. Apply today. Come soar with the Galen Eagles. To learn more about our various programs, contact us at 824-3226, 615-3129 or 614-6415. Visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz or email us at admissions@galen.edu.bz. Galen University, promoting academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning.